everyone, welcome to this week's video and congratulations, you are now an official teacher. And so now what? Now what do I do? You went through this very thorough application process for Vipkid and now you are a teacher. I work with a lot of teachers through the application process and then I'm frequently asked the same things. So always film videos with your toddler playing with dominoes that are made out of glass practically. Those things are loud. Dave and I said maybe we tell Ava good job too much because if we don't say good job, she starts to cry. And if she will tease us, I'll say, Ava, come here. And she'll tease us and stay there. And then she'll tell herself, good job. And she'll come running. So number one, as you transition from your application to teaching full-time or teaching in the hours that you're available, your prep time. A lot of teachers will say, how do I prep for so many classes? And how much time do you spend prepping? I would say when I started, it took me about 1 month to 2 months to get the prep down. And I did start about 10 to 15 minutes per class. So that's a lot of time if you think about it. If you have 3 classes in the morning, that's a good half hour to 45 minutes. After you have finished your mock class, you don't have to have everything figured out perfectly as if you're being assessed. Make sure that you spend, maximum 15-20 minutes preparing for a class, because if you're spending more time you will get burnt out and you don't want to get burnt out right from the get-go. That is rough. So just make sure that you are spending your time preparing in the skills and understanding the curriculum. So once you understand the curriculum, that first month or two, then you're ready to go. So the curriculum follows, it uses E-words. They go, let me read them for you. Engage, explore, explain, extend, elaborate, and evaluate. And I'm like, what do all those mean? Honestly, I more so go by my own words. They always start with an intro, the very first slide that tells you what the lesson's on. I always say, hello, my name is blank, and I ask a question to build rapport. That's the intro. And then there's always a warm-up and review. They already know that content. I model, and then I do it with the student, and then they do it by themselves. Usually my older students already know how to do it. So I can even skip the model and the we do, and they just go straight to they do. And make sure you spend only a minute on those slides. You do not want to spend all your time there or else you will be sad and trying to play catch up. Then the next portion is new content. This is where you use repetition, new vocabulary. I say each one 3 times. And I have props. If I'm teaching a new word, I show them a prop for it. Maybe I have an example of what that word means. If it's at a higher level and it's more of a concept, it's a word that has a meaning, then I want to explain it and show what that means. Like the word represent in your mock class. How do you show that? This represents fruit. Apples represent fruit. After I teach the new content, it's usually the activity slide where I apply the new content and mix it sometimes with old content. This could be your reading and comprehension. It could be math as well. Sometimes they have math with the numbers and you're learning the vocabulary for the math. The actual math computation is really easy for them. Really easy. Build confidence there. And then also there's science, there's social studies. So it does depend on which lesson you're on, if the focus is more math or whatnot. Usually it's reading and comprehension for the older students. I would say that's majority of what I see in each lesson. And then after that, there is always grammar and phonics. Keep it simple, show examples, and check for understanding. Not by doing this. Did you get it? They will always say yes. You give an example or say, can you use a past tense verb in a sentence? That's an older student. For my younger students, I might just have them fill in the blank and check for understanding. At the end, there is always a check, like an assessment, or it says like, let's chat. So you can see, did they understand? She wants to get in. And you can also extend the lesson. 1 minute. And then there's always a closing. If you're teaching the younger kids, then it's usually a song. Older kids, it's just goodbye. And if you're teaching the pre-K, like the level 1, they're way fun. Make sure you know the unit song. So make sure you listen to that before or else you'll be showing up like, India. Usually they're familiar tunes and it tells you at the bottom, but I do have to review those more so than my other lessons because they're new to me. So it's just like I'm a new teacher there. I spend more time on the new curriculum. The Collaborative Classroom, it's a Facebook page and they have gone through the entire curriculum. It's especially helpful for new teachers. It has tips on what to do for that lesson. It has some feedback that you can copy and paste and adjust to the student. So it really can save you time as you are becoming familiar with the system. Assessments, this is number 2 and I want to cover this. I do, just like I take my notes, Ava took my notebook. Ava takes my props all the time. When I'm teaching, I don't leave and go grab them. But for you, I did. So I just put the student's name, like I already showed you Selena. And then for the assessments, I'll put, this lesson is Japan, it's a test. On the test, it's lesson 6 or 12. And for lesson 12, they always have a final project. So I always will write question 1. Question 1 and 2 is always the final project. So I will write, how did the final project go? What was it? So I can always mention it in the feedback. Did the student have one? They usually have them now. That was a problem in the beginning. And then I will put Q and the number, so it says at the bottom what number it is. I'll put like question 6, they got half points because they didn't use a complete sentence, or they only knew half of the answers. So I always just make a note, it says Q6 half, help pronounce. So that is my note. It means question 6, they got half credit. And I only write down the ones that they get half credit. And I'll also make notes of concepts they still need to practice and review. So that's all I do for assessments, and then I do the bubble sheet after class. I can't do it during class. If you have a double screen, you can, but I don't have a double screen. My feedback covers up the students, so I have to do it after class. Gotta grab a drink. Number 3 is follow the objectives. Now, at the top of your classroom while you're teaching, there are, you okay? The overall objectives, the vocabulary, and then the sentence objectives. And for the higher students, you'll notice that all of them are not always listed there. But you have that, so while I'm teaching, I can just scroll up and see, did I teach these? Is this what I'm focusing on? And I can keep that as my focus. Number 4 is the stars. When you are a teacher, there are 5 stars above the chat box. So give them 5 stars. You click on it, a star goes across the screen. I would say 99.9, okay, go ahead and have it now. 99.9% of the time I give 5 stars.
I need that.
What, these?
I need that.
Okay. Make sure you give them stars. I've had teachers that said, I didn't even know there were stars. I'm like, oh no. The students earn stars and they can build items in a store. It's a big incentive that they have to use in their own little like online games. So you really do want to give them all those stars with your supplemental reward, or with your other reward. The other thing that I'm always asked, so number 5 is how do I increase my bookings? How do I build my schedule? I have a video on that and I'll link it below. I also did not mention in that video, so I want to mention it here. You can't do the 24-hour booking. If you click the bubble next to where you open up a slot, you can have a student book you within 24 hours. And then also there's the class up for grabs. You can access that on the app. And there's tons of feedback. If you join like a Facebook group, there's feedback from other teachers. There's another Facebook group that has tips and it has a whole document for new teachers. I'm going to link that below as well. I hope that I can give you resources here that can help you once you're a teacher. Also joining groups on Facebook. I'm in the Utah one. I'm in the Vipkid community. That one's very helpful. Well, I really don't spend a ton of time there, but there's so many resources and things that you can use. So I wanted to do my homework to give you those resources. So I will link them below. Also, to help increase your bookings, I had the opportunity of meeting Jessie. She is the COO. CEO is Cindy. So her and Cindy started Vipkid. They're friends. And she is adorable. I'm so happy I got to meet both of them at separate times, but Jessie was in Utah for our Fast Pass days where we train new applicants. And she is the sweetest thing. She said that the booking video is very important. She walked us through what it looks like on the parent side as their booking teacher, so they can type in names. So if they see you in a Book Me video, if they see you in a virtual field trip, they'll usually look for your name. They'll look you up. I get that all the time. And also she said the first thing they look at is your intro video. So make sure you can even download like iMovie on your phone. You don't have to have a Mac to do it. Just add a couple edits in there that make it look, make you shine, make you stand out. You don't have to spend a whole day on it. Don't do that. But it's fun to share your family, share your pets, just make yourself unique and show your personality. It's fun to show your classroom. Number 6, I want to mention, when do you share the final projects? I think this is key and comes back to curriculum. On lesson 5, 6, and 11, you will be showing the final project. So if you see lesson 5, 6, or 11, then at the end of your lesson, you'll notice there's more than 24 slides, maybe 27 or 30, because you are showing the final project. So lesson 5, they usually choose it. Lesson 6, you say, do you remember what your final project was? And lesson 11, you say, you need to have your final project next class, because they need to have it for lesson 12. That's good to know for the final projects, and something that some teachers don't realize. They've already seen that. They've already seen a video about it too, so don't stress about spending so much time on it, especially if it's lesson 11. They've already seen it. And lesson 11 is, I usually call it review. A lot of the content on there, they're reviewing the entire unit and learning maybe a couple new things. But the new content is very small because there's so much review by that point of the unit. So I always call it my review, and then I just remind them of the final project. Yeah, I'll open it. Yeah, there's just open markers over there. She's gonna throw dominoes down the stairs. There they go. There they go. Guys, now the final thing, I'm going to show my video. It's been 4 years. Vipkid just celebrated their 4-year anniversary. So this means that they shared a video with us. It shows my first class, my 10th class, my 20th class, my 100th, and then right now, let's see how many classes I'm at. Today is October 22nd, and I am at 2,040 classes taught. 2,000. I've taught 2,000. I've taught for 51,000 minutes. 793 students, and I've been with Vipkid for 639 days. Now I've been here for a year and 9 months, and with the followers, people ask, what is that flower by my name? That's how many followers you have. So the followers is just how many parents have, they usually like put a like by the teachers that they want to come back to. So it does help to have more followers as you get started, but don't stress about it. I don't even know what mine is, about 1,200, but I don't stress about that. And my parent feedback is a 4.96. So it's not perfect. It is not. After you've taught quite a few classes, you'll get some 3 or 4 apples in there, and don't stress if your first class was 3 or 4 apples or 2, it's okay. They categorize 4 and 5 together. In one category is the highest, and then 2 and 3 is in the middle, and then the 1 or 0, can you get 0, is at the bottom. So no, there's 3 categories. If you get 4 apples, it's still right by 5. They don't know the difference. It just shows it as up here. So there's 3 categories of what parents see. So that's kind of nice to know, so you don't fret over 4 apples. It's so funny how people get so concerned about apples. So I'm going to show you this video and you will see progress. I didn't have a backdrop to start. I still taught with the same like slow speed, have the student repeat, but you'll notice like my video quality doesn't look good at all. And I have the same, I use my MacBook Pro, I use the webcam in there, which I'm looking to upgrade. I am looking to an external webcam so that it can be a better image. I film these videos on a handheld camera. It's the Canon PowerShot G7X. So I don't film it on my webcam. And I use a headset. I use this headset. And when I started, I just used my earbuds for my iPhone, and they have the microphone. And the S sound didn't come through, so that's why I got the headset. So you gradually start to build on your classroom. I gradually built a background, and I got a lamp behind my computer, and that makes a difference. A huge difference is lighting. So I've upgraded as I've gone through, and you can see a difference in there. You'll see in the last class my students crying. And I don't panic, I just show them a cat. I just go with the flow.
Good job, Cece. Say ant. Ah, ah.
Hello.
Under the frying pan. Ha, ha, ha. Which one? It's their turn. Hello, Helen. Helen, look. I have a cat.
And I also will link below, I did an interview with Nikki. She is on YouTube as well. She interviews different teachers, and I think she's a great resource as well to learn strategies, techniques, and to see really a variety. I am solely VIP Kid. I share my tips and advice from VIP Kid, but she has a whole variety on there. So I will link her channel below as well, so you can check out her. I hope I've given you guys some good resources and that you guys are enjoying teaching. Good luck. I'm always cheering for you, as is Ava. I don't even want to show you what the room looks like. She's so cute though. How do I get that at her? There's probably a marker on my wall. Yeah, I want it on my head. Okay, thanks. Yeah, it's on my head. Is it cute? Don't drop it. Sure, I'll have another one. What color is it? Blue. Okay. Green.
And 2.
2? You want me to do another one? What color? Yeah.
Pink.
Okay, I'll do pink. Someone's going to get injured. Ava, how many?
2.
3,
And that.
4,
And that.
5,
And that.
6, 7. Can you say 7?
7.
Good job, high five. Ava, tell the camera bye. Did it bonk you? Okay, see ya.